want to thank everyone who had a hand in getting our streets in the condition they're in. It was an easy drive to get here. The crews have been one or two steps ahead of each storm system that has come through, and they've just done a great job. And we're here tonight, partially thanks to their efforts. And so, so we're very grateful.
If I may, Melvin, are you in here? You again, your crew has done that. And fire police, JR and Mike. Obviously, you guys have done an excellent job too. So I still a little my thunder for later. Thank you so much.
All right. So at this time, we will call this meeting to order. I'm going to ask Councilmember Manning if he would lead us in our invocation and pledge to the flag. If everyone would please stand.
Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight, Lord. Thank you for watching over each and every one of us, Lord. Watch over those out there on the street today, Father, that's traveling. Bless this meeting. Use it the way you think it ought to go. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge the flag, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Janet, if we could have the roll call, please.
Mayor Lambert.
Here.
Councilmember Gravitt.
Here.
Councilmember Cagle.
Here.
Councilmember Manning.
Here.
Councilmember Sewell.
Here.
City Manager Hyatt.
Here.
City Attorney.
Here.
Gentlemen, I trust you have had opportunity to review the items in the consent agenda, the minutes from the February 12th agenda work session, as well as the regular council meeting of February 12th. We will entertain a motion.
Make motion approved.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
And we have a second. Janet, if we could have the roll call, please.
Councilmember Gravitt.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Sewell.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes. This time we will entertain communication from citizens. If you are a resident of East Ridge or business owner here in the city, and you have a comment, question, or concern you'd like to bring to the council, this would be your opportunity to do so. You'll come forward to one of the two microphones here at the front, state your name and address for the record. You will have 5 minutes.
Good evening, Carol. My name is Harry Mackey. I live at 410 South St. Mark's Avenue in East Ridge, and I'm here to represent the East Ridge Optimist Club. On June the 13th, we're planning to have a car show at Camp Jordan in the arena. And the Optimists, some of you know us, some of us don't, some of you don't. We're a very active club in East Ridge. We sponsor a fishing rodeo for the kids, a 9/11 dinner for the first responders, have helped with the Needy Child Fund is what we could, and the money, any money that we make stays in East Ridge. It's for children, hopefully. We do spend a little bit on the fire and police, but most of it on the children. And what we'd like to do is to use the arena in Camp Jordan for the car show. We'd like to see if we couldn't get a little discount on the price of it so we'd have more money to spend for the kids. And that's the reason we're here.
Okay. And what were the dates on?
June 13th, on a Saturday. It's a Saturday when you've got a lot of things going on in the sports fields and nothing going on in the arena at this time.
We waive their fee. We waive everybody else because there ain't no point if they're making a benefit money off of it. It's for a good cause.
We certainly have the ability to stunt as schedule it.
No,
Do you have anything
it's
to-
fine, we don't have anything scheduled for that day.
Okay.
The reason I hadn't stepped up is because I'm a member of the Optimist Club.
What time of day are you gonna have the car show?
We'll probably do it by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It'll be a noon event, and we'll be out of there before supper time.
Mayor, if I may, since Mr. Martin is part of this group, I met with this fine group, and we had a great conversation, and I believe what they're going to give back to the Needy Child Fund and the community far exceeds anything that we would charge this group for this arena. And I would like to support and recommend that actually, that we don't charge them for doing it. It's way more.
Okay. Certainly, we can do that now, if we have a motion.
I'll make a motion to waive the fee for this club, for the meeting and show and everything they're putting on, because they're, like I said, they do everything in the world for the East Ridge, and children, forgotten children's things. So I'll make a motion to waive the fee.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to waive.
What is your charge gonna be for the car show?
Pardon?
What will the fee be for the car show to come in?
We're working on that now, but probably just $10 to $15 to enter it, and no, it'll be free admission. We're not charging an admission fee at all. We're gonna try to make it on the people coming, and hopefully sell a little barbecue or something in the process, but it'll be a free to the public.
All right. We have a motion and a second to waive the fee for the Optimist Club on June 13th. Jen, if we can have the roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Sewell.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes. All right. Thank you, folks.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Is the club's fishing event the one that Councilman Manning almost lost his
Why?
mind?
Yeah, I understand that's the one that had to fish him out.
Yeah. If you remember, the lawyer wasn't standing too far from me when I fell in.
So I would suggest for liability purposes, you put a fence around it next time.
Just put a fence around the pond or around Debbie.
Yes, yes, sir, that, even better.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Next time, throw me a life to the mud.
We'll get you a rubber.
Rubber ducky flow around.
All right, do we have anyone else? All right, at this time we will have communication from council members. Mr. Manning,
Not this time, sir.
Mr. Sewell.
I'd just like to repeat what you kind of said about, Melvin and his crew did a good job with the snow event. Rode with the police department, myself last night, and I think Mr. Manning did too. We wound up pushing a lot of cars off the road, but appreciate the work that the fire and police also did. They were out patrolling everywhere, same night, so, and helping a lot of people that's stranded.
All right. Mr. Cable.
No, just to ditto what y'all were saying about the street department, police department.
Fantastic.
Yeah, same thing here. I'll ditto the previous remarks.
All right.
One thing I'd like to say, Mayor,
Yes, sir.
we was pushing one car, and he's standing back here at the back, and we pushing one car, we kept telling us that this barley, it's kind of like you don't want to break the egg, you barley mash your gas. But every time he said kind of mash your gas, she did. And next thing you know, we're going this way and she's going that way. Finally got her stop. Well, he walked back up and tells him again, I ain't calling no names, but he's standing at the door back there. And he said, it's kind of like keep trying to break that egg, kind of touch that gas. Well, we all get back, I start pushing again, here she goes, oh, and she goes again. And we about got to the point where it was all about ready to run. But we finally got her turned out, and then we were able to get the other three cars up. It's all in one circle. And if she come on back, she'd have to box two of the cars. But they did, everybody out there worked hard. And when I got home, I had cold feet. Next time, I'm gonna say mash it hard and then mash it easy.
Sometimes it works that way.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot of great employees who do a lot of wonderful work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That don't always get credit for it, but we're very appreciative. We notice, and I also would like to say, thank you to the citizens as well. Very, very patient. These types of events out here in the South, we don't have a lot of equipment. It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to have 10 or 12 snowplows for a once-a-year event. And so we only have a couple of plows, but we get things taken care of. And again, kudos to all the employees who made it possible. And that's all that I have.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. City Manager.
And I'll just feed off that a little bit. We have a little over 250 miles of paved roads, and we have 2 snow plows and a backhoe. And our guys do more with less than most cities do with more, and less roads. So they do an excellent job. I know Melvin, for instance, was here till midnight this morning, and then came back in about 6:30, and I had to send him home about 11 to go at least get a little bit of sleep, and he's back out here tonight. So, and JR, the same thing, Mike, the same thing, and our staffs as well. So it really is great. One thing I want to bring to your attention, we got a letter, I believe the mayor actually got a letter, but I got a copy of the proposed 911 fees. They'll be going up about $15,000 for fiscal year 16. It'll be up to $408,581.84. So I have a letter I'll give you in case you didn't get a copy of that or are not aware of that. We also have some information on our band funds. We had a gentleman from TML Pool come in to talk to us a little bit about our financing and band funds, and we have $181,764 left. Thad's going to hand this out, and Thad, I'll turn this over to you to talk about a little bit. But what we've done is we've given you 4 alternates. Kind of made a little wish list, but what we did, we didn't really make this wish list just for this. This is part of our 3-year capital improvement program with our budgeting. What we did was we took some things that will need replacing, that type of thing, that would be coming up for review for the FY16 budget year, and kind of put these in here if you wanted to look at that. We feel like alternate 4 is probably the best to go with, and we can explain that if you'll talk a little bit. I'll just turn this over to you for right now.
Thank you, City Manager. Mayor, members of the City Council. Mayor, members of the council, we've put together a list of 4 different alternates. We have the $181,000 Mr. Hyde mentioned. Those are the remainder of the band funds that have been converted. Those are short-term. A bond anticipation note is intended for short-term use when you're waiting on a bond sale to close, as we are now. We're waiting any day to hear from our financial advisor on the bond going to market. And that's typically when you take out a band, you use that for an interim period. Or in some cases, as was the case here a few years ago, the city took out a bond anticipation note for $2 million and used that to finance capital improvement projects. And we now have just under $200,000 of that remaining. Our financial advisor recommended, given the value of money and the time value of money, what it's worth today, what it would be worth if it was invested, what the time value of money is when we look at repaying it. It was the best idea, given that the city has immense capital needs, since we've not had multi-year capital improvement plans or long-range capital planning. And that's something we are doing now, and with the council's help. But we would recommend that the council consider one of these alternates or some other scenario if you feel that there are other priorities that would be better suited to the city. But alternate number 1 and number 4, I think in particular, each one includes a host of public safety equipment replacement, and either equipment that just hasn't been planned, nobody's ever considered replacing. And Mike could speak, Mike could speak to that. JR could do the same. We spend so much on repairing radios, and they're outdated. They're not even the kind of radios our public safety folks need to be using. They all need to be replaced. 19 in fire, 58 in police. So Again, we spend these funds in fiscal year 15 to get some of these essentials. Another option would be to pair some of these. One option to pair some of these. Also pay for the land should the council decide to purchase the property for the fire hall tonight. Another option would be to use the funds that the city will receive from the development project and the pool property that's just closed or in the process of closing. When we receive that check, using those funds and using these funds entirely to purchase everything on the list. That's obviously that's a decision that's up to this council, but we wanted to put this in front of you. If you've got any questions, we're here to answer them as best we can.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I kind of like element 2 there, buying the property and the mini excavator, because I've talked to Melvin, the mini excavator is down, and it is a dire need that they use every day just about.
That's why we put that on. If that's on 2 alternates, that's why we put it up there. We use that a lot.
And that'd be the argument that I would be going with, even though it's a little bit more than 181,000.
Yeah, the mini excavator, just real quick, the mini excavator is something that we use so much, and that the rental, when we look at the rental cost and trying to get through the fiscal year, if we can make, we can rent one if we need to. But if we're going to purchase one anyway, we can get a demo model, spend about $20,000 less, and there's a real value.
And this, it's really not for a decision tonight. What we want to do is put it out there. We will need to make a decision by the next meeting, because all of these are going to be put out for bid. So we will have a 14 to 15 day cycle with that a day. So we need to get this expended by the end of April. So we'll give you kind of a time frame.
I mean, because this was said July 1 on the excavator.
That was the anticipation, what we were going to put into the FY16 budget for capital improvement. That's why that says, has those dates in there.
Can the mini excavator not be paid out of the state street aid fund?
Yes, sir, it can.
And, I mean, we've got a substantial balance in there, don't we?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's something else I'd like to see maybe put on one
I
of
think it
these.
would maybe be better to move it to the state street aid fund. That's just my opinion.
This is 181,000. This is the money that we have to spend, right? Okay. I'd like to see somewhere on the list, we look at this. I think we need to start looking at some computers for our police cars, get them up to date with everybody else. I'm just thinking it's running around $1,000 a car, somewhere in that neighborhood. But they're doing without that, and it would save them a lot of time sitting on the side of the road doing reports. And there's other options down the road that we could look at that too. I know Chattanooga's looking at a device. It's pretty expensive, but it does speed up a lot of stuff where they can still be back on the road and doing what they're supposed to be doing instead of sitting there for 30 minutes doing paperwork.
And we possibly have the funds, if we move that into state street aid and purchase that piece of equipment there, you have some funds there to move for computers in the police crew.
Since Larry's mentioned computers, back in August or September, there was a resolution passed where they got a $5,000 grant for 2 computers and 2 in-car cameras. Were they ever purchased? This was 100% match. It's going to cost us.
Councilman Cagle, no, they haven't. The reason why they haven't, and if it wasn't for 2 in-car computers, cameras, it was for 2 digital style cameras, so they could use to document scenes and stuff of that nature. The reason we haven't,
2 computers.
there was 2, yes, sir. And the reason we haven't moved forward with that, we're still trying to get the license agreement to use the appropriate software in the system that Councilman Sewell had mentioned about doing reports and so forth like that. Apparently 911 Center is their software they're using for dispatch capabilities, and where we would have to get our what we call FBR, which is field-based reporting, what you're talking about, sir. 911, apparently their software they have for dispatching is being purchased by the field-based reporting software company currently.
and everything sort of got put on hold. The city of 911 was going to upgrade to that software. If it is, that may be a portion, but not sure. There is a special call meeting of the Unified Center next week. It was supposed to be tonight, but it was canceled due to weather. John Sturmer called that meeting sort of an emergency to get all the law enforcement in the area. So that may be something that's coming down. I don't know, but I have been in touch with that software company, and they did let me know that they purchased what the 911 center is using for dispatch. So I sort of pull back a little bit because that may be something that if 911 offers into our package, we won't have to buy extra licensing for. So rather than jump ahead and push hard, when I found that out, I sort of backed off of it because I wanted to see what was going to happen.
I just didn't want to delay there and go to waste.
No,
You know, we almost missed the best.
That's right, and I'm itching for the computers. I mean, that is a big piece of the pie when it comes to doing our work now, with everything being so computer oriented. So
So how long have we got on the bond like that, Steve? I mean,
May 1st, I believe. The band money?
no, not on the band money, this $5,000 grant.
Lieutenant, that was through the governor's highway.
Governor's highway safety, we should have somewhere around September before we have to spend funds.
But how long?
September.
Okay. So it's good for about a year. Okay.
And you did get all your police tests, right, for everybody?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. All the sworn officers are up to date. I think we have with the new people coming on, we've been able to buy out of that as well, so that the newer officers have new vests as well. We've been doing that.
While we're on police talking, I guess, what we decide to do about getting a new police dog?
We sort of put that on hold as well. We're trying to get our staff up. That way, if currently Officer Rogers is our, he's acting as double duty. He's currently the acting sergeant on second shift, and he's also the canine officer. If we get our staffing up, then we can look and see if Officer Rogers wants to put in for that open position. If he doesn't, then he'll go back to the canine position, and we'll look at purchasing an animal going from that point. So we're still waiting on the staffing issue.
All right. Thank you.
I have a question on here, $10,000 for refurbishing batting cages. Are those still located over here in McBride School?
These are some that are actually out at Camp Jordan. They need new nets and I believe new carpeting, indoor, outdoor style carpeting.
Where are they located at?
Vice Mayor Greg, some of them are when you first turn in on field 1 there, and they're between fields 3 and fields 4, and then there's another group of them up where we call our big fields. And what happened was they started them back when the association, and they didn't finish it. So one of them usually just got grass growing up real high on it. The nets are gone off the top of them. And they're just, if you drive down to Jack Maddox Park and look at the new batting cages they put in down there, and the way they've used the turf and stuff, which is 3 miles from our park, you'll see kind of what they've done down there. We've got a free Dick's Sporting Goods clinic, which will probably bring in around 75 per, so that'll be over 200 kids on March the 15th. If we can't do this, I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to take it out of my budget. But it was just a thing that I needed, that I thought we needed the most right now. But no, sir, it's not these cages. These cages over here are doing fine. They're making over $10,000 a year over there.
I'd like to, personally, I'd like to see a roster of how many kids live in the city of East Ridge that play ball down there at Camp Jordan versus live outside of the city of East Ridge.
I have no problem doing that, but it is a regional park, and most of the people coming in on the weekends are from everywhere.
Well, I understand. I'd still like to see a roster of how many East Ridge kids are actually participating down there.
When we get everything signed up for baseball and softball, I'll be more than happy to give you one of those. That's no problem at all.
All right. Thank you much.
Thank y'all.
There's just
Thank you
something,
for the list.
yeah, there's something y'all can mull over, and we'll have this on the agenda for the next meeting in March, and hopefully make a decision to move forward.
Could we get
That sounds good.
Put on for the next agenda, for the next council meeting.
We can actually probably add it tonight, or you can probably give us a blessing to put it out for bid. I mean, that.
Yeah, we'll have to do that anyway.
The more we have to read it, the higher that 57,000 goes up.
So, that'd be up to the mayor, but I mean, we're more than happy to start that process at any point.
So I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and give him the blessing to put the mini excavator out for bid.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. No problem at all. We have a motion and a second to get the process started. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffith,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Manning,
Yes.
Councilmember Sewell,
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes. And that is simply to obtain the bid.
Well, while they're doing bids, if they're gonna do that, why don't we go ahead and just do bids on all these, that way we'll know what the cost is gonna be when the time comes. Is there a problem with that? We need to do that? With all, everything on the wish list here, I guess you say?
Logistically, is that going
We can do
to cause a
whatever.
difficulty?
No.
I mean, that's why I was asking.
It's just that's what the council asks us to do, we'll.
Well, no, I mean, I don't put any burden on, I just,
No, it's
what I'm
not.
asking is just,
No burdens.
you know, if we're gonna be voting on this, that way we'll know the exact numbers when it comes up, and we'll be waiting another, 3 meetings to do
But
so.
before we do that, I got another question. You relocate metal building, now which metal building are we talking about?
The one we just took down.
Okay, the old fire hall.
Correct. We need to know what it's gonna cost to put it back up, whatever we decide to do with it.
Okay, now, I want to use it for the new fire hall. And then the fire thermal imaging camera, how many of those do we already have?
Councilman Cagle, the reason this was brought up is we have 2 thermal imaging cameras at this time. We have one on both of our first out engines, which with 2 stations, we had one at each station. One of the cameras has broke. It is out of service. We are contacting the manufacturer, but they do not warranty it anymore, and the imager is so old that we don't believe we get parts for it. That's the reason this was brought up. So we do feel like it being a life safety part of our equipment. This is what the guys carry in when they first go in looking for victims, searching in smoke, and they can't see their hand in front of their face. I'd actually thought about bringing one in tonight and kind of let you look at it. I didn't know for sure this was going to come up. We can locate fire, we can locate victims when you can't see through the smoke with thermal imaging camera. They are worth their weight in gold. They really are.
Is this part of our ISO rating having?
It don't have anything to do with ISO, but what it does have a difference between life and death.
I have no problem with them. I just thought we had more than 2.
We
But really, we just got one since we're.
We've got one operating at this time. I have a business that we do a lot of fire equipment transactions with. They are going to loan us one temporarily until we see if we can make a decision on buying one. If this hadn't come up with the opportunity of having this money, I was going to come before council and ask for the council to see if we could find the funds for this item.
What's the price of usually run on, this time?
Do what, sir?
You know what the price of one of them will run this time?
It'll range anywhere from, there are different models, have different bells and whistles, like buying a car.
The one you
The
think?
more features you have is going to run anywhere close to $10,000. Those are the easiest to use. They are, it's like a Cadillac. It's hard to put money and price on it. It makes it easier for the firefighter to do his job. If he's going in there to search for a child that is hid somewhere up under, even up under a bed, okay? This camera will read through that bed and will detect heat. It will detect body heat. If we go into a house and we've got a light haze in the house, we can go in that house with a camera and we can look around around the house, we can search, or we can automatically detect where that fire is. That is saving lives and protecting property at a very minimum cost. I think it is a part of our toolbox that is probably one of our #1 items that we need.
Well, if we just save one life, it'd be worth it all, no matter what it costs.
That's correct.
All right, we've heard from the city manager and city treasurer that having these things put out for bid is not going to be an undue burden. So we're going to hold you to it. But we will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to put all these out for bid, including camera and all this.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Sewell.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes.
And also, I would like to, if we could, add computers to that too. Police computers.
You make a motion
We probably do need another motion.
Okay. Make a motion that we add to this list computers for police vehicles.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to add the computers for police vehicles. Janet, if we could have the roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Yes.
Councilmember Sewell.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Just my last item, I will be at the TML Legislative Conference on Monday and Tuesday, the 2nd and 3rd. So I'll be available if you need me, but I will be over in Nashville.
Okay.
Just one more comment. If we shift the cost of the mini excavator over to the state street aid fund and shift the cost of the batting cage, refurbishing the batting cages over to the Parks and Recreation budget, if I just did my math right, the whole laundry list right here, in excess of the band money, it'll cost us $67,000. Doesn't include the cameras computers that we just voted on.
All right. We have a lot to consider, and certainly once we get those bids back, then that'll help quite a bit in paring down the list and trying to figure out exactly what we want to do moving forward. All right, at this time we will move to old business and discussion of Independence Day celebration, specifically a date.
I think the one thing is, as Mr. Martin's coming, is we were talking about July 3rd, July 4th, and we've talked to the entertainment and those involved, and we felt like July 3rd was going to be the best date of the 2 dates. And we just wanted to give your blessing and Mr. Martin, anything you want to add.
Well, I think I was really the only one that wanted July the 4th anyway, and after everybody else said July, I was fine with that. But if you go with July the 3rd, both bands are already booked. The fireworks is booked. Mr. Mackey will be handling the barbecue cook-off, which will be an all-day barbecue cook-off. And then I talked with Mr. Geisen. He's again sponsoring the $1,000 first prize winner for the karaoke contest that we had last year, which was pretty, had a lot of people last year. I think this year that you'll even have more since then, the word's out and something like that. So all that's booked. I can move it all to the 4th if that's what you want to do, but right now it's, everything's ready to go.
With karaoke, what time do you have to start Friday?
We're going to build backwards. I told Mr. Geisen this time to start at 6 o'clock and start booking backwards. So if you have 100 people and it goes backwards and it starts at 10 o'clock that morning, then they'll just keep coming up there and singing, and it'll be an all-day type deal. I don't anticipate that many, but I think that...
You'll be through at 6 and then...
Oh yeah, so we're going back. Last year we didn't go backwards. Last year he booked them forward and started at a certain time, but I told him this year, let's go backwards, and then we'll know what time that we're going to be able to start. It just works a whole lot better.
Okay, so what time is your wood bat tournament going to start that Friday?
will start at probably 9 o'clock that morning.
9 o'clock that morning, so you see no conflict in parking.
No, I don't think that'd be a problem at all. There's all kinds of parking out there, Councilman Cagle, and you know that. And I don't see a problem at all because we're not going to have soccer that day playing. There's not going to be ultimate frisbee that day playing. So you'll have all that area over there to park. The only thing that we'll actually have going on in the park besides that is the snakes are coming, Repticon. They'll be there.
Just look clear along.
You went in?
Look clear along, people left.
Yeah, I think our city manager's going to be working handling the snakes as well. Thank you. Any other questions?
I make a motion that we approve July the 3rd for the Independence Day celebration.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve July 3rd as the date for our Independence Day celebration. Any comments or questions? I'm tempted to amend the motion and to amend it so that Mr. Manning is the council representative in the karaoke contest.
And the snake show.
Hey, he probably stands the best chance of winning if all of us up here.
I tell you what I'll do. I'll be glad to do that if you'll do the snakes. Now, is that a deal?
We'll see. Let's talk about that. All right. So we have a motion and a second to make it July 3rd. We have the roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Manning.
Oh, I knew you. Yes.
Councilmember Sewell.
Yes.
Mayor Lambert.
Yes.
He had my mind on the carry.
All right. We will move to new business. Item A, resolution number 2460.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, approving the contract to purchase certain real properties located at 1408 and 1410 St. Thomas Street for the purpose of constructing a fire station. I could ask Mr. Cleveland and Rob next.
All right.
Gentlemen, you have in your packets the contract that we have negotiated in the last few days, subject to approval by the council for a total purchase price of $145,000, which includes a non-refundable deposit of $3,600, which was the price that Mr. Robinette, one of the partners owning the property, had to pay to buy out of an existing contract for one of these properties. So again, it provides for the immediate reimbursement to him for having to buy out that existing contract without any further delay. The council had heard earlier Chief Williams talk about this property and specifically the benefits of this property compared to the others.
I make a motion to buy the property, and I feel like this is something the Lord sent to us. We've been hunting hard, and I think it's be a good, great thing. I make a motion to buy.
Okay. We have a motion to approve resolution number 2460, which would allow us to purchase this property. Do we have a second?
I'll second it if I can ask a question.
Absolutely.
All right. Are both houses rented?
No, sir. 1410 is currently occupied, but 1408 is not.
All right, so I read in this that you're going to be responsible for taking care of them people.
Yes, sir. I've spoken with the lady that lives there, an older lady, and she's agreed to move to another.
She's agreed to move to another property, and I'm going to help her in that process.
And you feel like you could relocate her within 30 days or thereabouts in any event at about the time we close on the purchase?
Yes, that's what I've discussed with her. I haven't exactly, she's not signed the agreement to rescind the lease as of yet, because I was going to wait till you guys, decided for sure, but she's indicated that she would, and I'm going to give her, a small incentive to cover her, reimburse her moving costs, and also to to get, encourage her to move within the 30 days, so you guys can proceed.
This really has nothing to do with the contract. I'd just like to encourage the city manager to have a survey of the property done. The GIS maps are not always reliable, so just so that we're certain on where the boundaries are.
That's what I was going to suggest.
All right. And Janet indicated to me, if gentlemen, if you could just provide your name for the record, please.
My name's Nathaniel Robinette.
Joe Pleva.
Mr.
Thank you.
Pleva is the broker involved in Keller Williams.
Chief, have any comments?
Mayor, council, the only other comment I had would, of course, would be like Councilman Gravett said, make sure that, of course, we do everything as far as if there were to need to be any soil sampling or surveying of property or anything like that before we finalize it. It being a residential area now, with 2 houses being set on it for as long as it has, I don't really see anything coming up as far as soil issues or anything of that nature.
I'd like to thank Mr. Robinette for cooperation and for working with us on this. This is very important to the future of the city of East Ridge and its residents. And this just kind of turned into be the most viable option, and we appreciate your willingness to work with us.
Oh, it's been my pleasure, thank you, and I'm glad to be called to answer prayer by the council. I'm going to be very proud.
All right. Any other comments or questions? All right, we do have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2460. Janet, if we could have the roll call, please.
Councilmember Gravett?
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle?
Yes.
Councilmember Manning?
Yes.
Councilmember Sewell?
Yes.
Mayor Lambert?
Yes. Thank you, gentlemen.
Mr. Robinette, if you would sign the contract tonight, as I understood that your father's out of town, but you're going to sign it tomorrow and bring us a copy of the power of attorney.
Yeah, the operating agreement for the partnership contains the authorization.
Ms. Miller, if we can include tomorrow, if we can attach the power of attorney to the contract, which is attached to the resolution. So we need 3 documents, the resolution, the contract, and then get the power of attorney to bring us tomorrow. So we can pass that.
All right, outstanding. We will now move to item B, discussion of the facade grant program.
Mayor, back during the budget process, we requested to include $100,000 in our budget for this fiscal year to have for a facade improvement program. I've asked Mr. Jablonski to put together a bullet point for this document that you have before you. Again, this is just for discussion purposes. It'll be on the next agenda as well. Not necessarily for approval or not. We want to make sure that we all are on the same page and understand what we're asking and want to have your input. This is not necessarily the final draft or document, because we definitely want to know how you feel and what you'd like to see in this program. So, Thad, if you would.
Thank you, Mr. Hyde. Mr. Hyde, Mayor, members of the council, we included a draft in your packets this evening, and it's just that the city manager mentioned a draft, and if we could get any input or advice from the council, we certainly appreciate the feedback so that we can get some guidance on how to proceed. I'm going to just hit the highlights. You know, it's a document. Over 10 pages, so I thought I'd boil it down to 1 page and just go through this rather quickly. And for the purpose of the public, the point of the facade grant program is threefold: revitalization. We focusing here on the central business corridor at East Ridge, from one end of Ringgold Road to the other, our entire commercial district essentially. Beautification, and that is beautified the same area, and then quality redevelopment. We want to promote quality redevelopment in East Ridge. The program is a matching funds grant program, so that the 50% of the funds for each project will come from the city of East Ridge. For a $20,000 project, in other words, property owner would put up $10,000 as a maximum. The city would match up to that maximum $10,000 for a total $20,000 project. So it's a dollar for dollar match. A project could be less, but a project could be no more than that 20,000 total, with 10,000 coming from the city. If you recall, when we were budgeting this last June for this current fiscal year, the council budgeted a community development grant, which was budgeted at $100,000 in a capital improvement budget. Councilman Cable, I know you were in the audience, but you weren't up here, but that is in the capital budget. And that was the intent at that time when we discussed it. We just didn't have the provisions at that point. And that's what you have before you. Eligibility, we would ask, we would recommend that a business be in operation for a minimum of 3 years. That the owner would have owned it for a minimum of 5 years. And that during the contract stay in business, the application must be submitted by an owner. Now, a leaser